You are listening to Ada Jet Noise, and this is the Morning Flyby. Good, glorious morning. Election Day 2020. We finally made it. The ads go away today. We will find out who is going to be in the White House. Hopefully, before the night is over, stay up late and try to find out who our president will be for the next 4 years. All I can do is put America first, if you will. I will vote proudly, indeed, in hopes to keep America great again. If you are not interested in that, then you'll vote the other way. But indeed, the campaigning, the speeches, the commercials, all that goes away. The car honking, all that goes away. The giant rallies, which are, it's kind of sad to see go away. The giant rallies and the little itty bitty ones. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Let's get into the headlines, but before we do that, I would like to ask you to go to Facebook. Look me up, Ada Jet Noise, A-D-A Jet Noise. In case you don't know how to spell Jet Noise, ask a friend. ADA Jet Noise at Facebook. Follow me. Hit like on my page. You can get all the nifty things that I find on the internet. It keeps you up to date with the world and the national and international findings and silliness. And you can inform yourself, keep yourself updated. Ada Jet Noise on Facebook. Parler, Ada Jet Noise on Parler, where apparently freedom is still a thing. Freedom of speech, that is. It's still a thing. Parler, if you haven't joined Parler, by all means, join Parler. Yeah, especially you conservatives and libertarians and all, as well, you Marxist weenies that have nothing to do, that want to harass us, international love buttons that we are. YouTube, Ada Jet Noise on YouTube. ADA Jet Noise on YouTube. 3 words. Or Morning Flyby, 2 words. Flyby combined. Morning Flyby on YouTube. Subscribe. And on Rumble. My goodness. That's new to me. And I'm new to it. Rumble. Ada Jet Noise on Rumble. Just like you. Just like a Rumble. Rumble. Want to get in Rumble? Rumble on there. It's kind of like YouTube, but they're gonna not harass you as much. They're not gonna threaten to demonetize you if you say something that you don't like, or they don't like. Excuse me. So Rumble, find me there. Ada Jet Noise on all of those, as well as Twitter. Ada Jet Noise, ADA Jet Noise. Let's get into this mess we call it, well, in this case, we'll call it the world. 33 nations declare that every human being has an inherent right to life. Can you imagine that? The U.S. and 32 other nations signed a declaration last week that made clear that there's no international right to abortion, and highlighted the foundational importance of the family unit in society. I could almost cry. The family unit. Importance. Indeed it is. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services issued a statement touting the document as an effort to achieve four main pillars. Those four main pillars. One, better health for women. Absolutely beautiful. Two, the preservation of human life. Absolutely beautiful. Three, strengthening a family as the foundational unit of society. Booyah. And protecting every nation's national sovereignty in global politics. Indeed. The Declaration stated a reaffirmation of the inherent dignity and worth of the human person, that every human being has the inherent right to life, and the commitment to enable women to go safely through a pregnancy and childbirth and provide couples with the best chance of having healthy infants. It went on to say that in no case should abortion be promoted as a method of family planning, and declared that in any measures of changes related to abortion within the health system can be only determined at the national or local level according to the national legislative process. Give it back to the people. Get government completely out of it. In fact, if you want the argument to go away, specifically here in the United States, on abortion, not abortion, you want to keep it legal and you want to keep it private, get government completely out of it. Seriously. In fact, your next rally supporting, I don't know, is it abortion rallies or women's rights rallies? There should be, you can wear your "Don't Tread on Me" uterus T-shirt and hold up your, my body, my choice sign, demanding. You need to be demanding, screaming at the top of your lungs, take these people to court. Demand government get completely out of abortion. Seriously, get it completely out of abortion. Stop funding it. Stop funding Planned Parenthood. Make the process completely private between the patient, if you will, and the healthcare provider, service, doctor, what have you. If you want the argument to go away, get government completely out of it. Demand it. This way, you can get rid of your unborn child at your discretion. You walk into a hospital. Hospitals will take care of this. They will have, the hospital satellite clinic. You don't need any offset, again, Planned Parenthood. You don't need any offset clinic that just handles abortions. These can be done safely, privately, and you get the middleman out of it. And the middleman is the people whose tax dollars that don't want anything to do with it, because meanwhile, as long as they're paying for it, they still have the right to argue. It is their money that is going into something that they don't want done. Once again, you want your abortion, you want to keep it legal, demand government get completely out of the process. Call it a day. I'm going to give you a list. It is a bizarre list. And it gets, well, why don't I just give you the list and you'll start to get the picture. New York City Police Department said it would dispatch officers at each of the city's 1,201 polling places. Starting to get the picture already, are you? Washington, D.C. canceled days off for police officers starting this past weekend, as well as spent $100,000 in less than lethal munitions and chemical irritants. Chicago police have canceled days off for its force in November. It's canceled days off in November. Boston Police Department canceled time off to provide sufficient public safety. No timeline on that one. Austin, Texas, Police Department is on tactical alert, and every officer would be made available. Beverly Hills City Council approved an additional $4.8 million of supplemental police and security services. For the first time ever in Denver's history, the city is establishing a police command center. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, but it must mean something because it's the first time in Denver's history that they're setting up a police command center. Here's why. You'll see why. New Jersey Department of Homeland Security and Preparedness issued a threat assessment in September that warned about threats from domestic extremists and foreign adversaries have emerged due to COVID-19 pandemic, anti-government sentiment, nationwide civil unrest, and various forms of disinformation. These threats will begin to converge. I might as well say today. Today, being the presidential election 2020, in a manner not previously experienced by our nation. Businesses are boarding their windows and doors. Security is being hired. Extra security is being hired. People are taking massive precautions. Walmart even announced that they were going to take their guns out of their stores. They changed their mind. They changed their mind because they can change. They're in a situation where they can change their mind. And I'll explain that a little bit. The stores, the areas where Walmart, the store carries guns, in those areas are least likely to have mass amounts of people destroying everything. There's a long history in those areas of a little bit of dare I say civility. Yeah, in those areas where the Walmarts actually sell guns, the people there are least likely to tear the place up, or least likely have people show up. And the other thing too is in those areas, they tend to protect themselves. The Bubba effect comes into play. So if you go in there and try to mess things up, you're probably going to be met not just by the police, but by Bubba. We will handle our own. If the police won't do it, we will. That is the Bubba effect. So this is all supposed to happen if Trump wins. All these torn up windows and looted places on fire. If Trump wins, that is what Antifa and Black Lives Matter, that is what these protesters said that are promising if Trump wins. So I would, dare I say, somebody knows something, right? I mean, who is really in it for Biden at this point? There's no excitement. Have you seen the rallies? 30,000, 25,000 at a Trump rally. 30 cars at a beeping their horns at a Biden rally, or an Obama rally, or a Harris rally. So I'm saying that these places are seeing things going for 4 more years. 4 more years. So they're taking their the measures that they need that'll make them feel better. DEA raid on celebrity psychiatrist Keithe Ablow. This one's really bizarre. I had faith in this guy. This guy, a real scumbag. From the Boston.com website, last May, Dr. Keithe Ablow and his medical license suspended by Massachusetts Board of Medicine, which labeled Ablow an immediate, quote, an immediate and serious threat to public health. At that time, Ablow, 58, was also accused of having sexual relationships and boundary violations with multiple patients, diverted controlled substances from patients. That dude, like, withheld drugs for what? Favors? That's low. That's low. Engaged in disruptive behavior, including displaying and pointing a firearm on multiple occasions in a manner that scared an employee. In a manner that scared an employee. You're pointing a firearm at an employee, they're probably going to be scared. And procured his license renewal fraudulently. Wow. Sounds like somebody's figured out the power of screwing with people's heads. Little is known about his latest development that brought on a federal raid. But baby, it can't be good. Special Agent Timothy Desmond, a spokesman for DEA, said that the raiding Ablow's office was part of an ongoing investigation, but declined to give further detail on what that is or what the authorities took. But guess what? In that raid, they found another Hunter Biden laptop. No details of what was actually on the laptop. But I saw much of what was on the current laptop in question. Hunter Biden needs some serious help. Yeah, that family in general needs some serious help. Anthony Fauci getting on his own family's nerves. Apparently, Anthony's cousin is saying that he's a little tired of Anthony's flip-flopping and indecisiveness. You're not the only one, cousin. His flip-flopping and indecisiveness on the, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, do this, don't wear, mandate this, social distancing. We should lock the place down. We shouldn't lock the place down. I think that's that's what Anthony's got going on. Fauci's cousin, who is also named Anthony, is a restaurant owner in New York, said that his family members talking and suggestions of family members, which is members with a little. Speaking of Anthony Fauci, talked as suggestion of coronavirus lockdown is backfiring on the country. Indeed. The restaurateur who owns La Fontana restaurant in Staten Island, New York, says the lockdowns simply don't work. They shouldn't do the lockdowns, restaurant owner said, especially now if you don't abide by the rules. Shut the area down, but don't shut down the whole industry. His son Joe agrees. In the beginning, I thought Dr. Fauci was fabulous, but then a few times he flip-flopped on different things. Joe explains he had us all locked down at a tremendous rate. They should have loosened things up when it was slowing down in the summer. Everything else loosening up. Expect restaurants. So Anthony Fauci, cousin Anthony, everybody there in the family's named Anthony over there, is a little ticked off about Dr. Fauci's indecisiveness, which is, and a lot of people tend to ignore that. And that's what really bothers me the most. That's absolutely what bothers me the most about Dr. Anthony Fauci, is give us some solid answers, give us some solid advice, quit flip-flopping, quit pandering to whichever news source that that's giving you attention. Give us the information, the solid information. I'm sorry, lockdown is not one of those. It's just not acceptable. A country that depends on itself to survive. Sorry, man. Lockdown's no good. No good for me. I'm sure they're no good for you. Um, Even though the left is willing to give you all kinds of attention, um, I guess attention is good enough for Dr. Anthony Fauci. Johnny Depp confirmed as a wife beater. Actor Johnny Depp has lost his high-stake libel action in London courts against the Sun. That would be the newspaper. Described him as when the Sun newspaper described him as a wife beater. Quote, wife beater. Depp accused of beating his then wife Amber Heard on multiple occasions. The High Court dismissed the claim by the popular actor for compensation at the end of the most widely followed libel trials of the century. Now, I kind of knew he was being a jerk, but I had no idea that this libel trial was of the century. Granted, we're only 20 years into it, so I'm sure we'll have much bigger libel trials with bigger scumbags. His lawyers said he would most likely appeal against the perverse and bewildering decision. That's what his lawyers said that. The judge said Amber Heard, evidence that allegations she made against Depp have had negative effect on her career as an actress and activist. I have reached these conclusions having examined. It's funny because it's like as soon as you like touch somebody like Johnny Depp, like everybody hates. Like in Amber Heard's situation, she says, "Hey, he did really bad things to me," and then like the wagons circle around Johnny Depp. That's really scummy. I have reached these conclusions having examined in detail the 14 incidents on which the defendants rely, as well as the overarching consideration which the claimant submitted. I should say, I'm getting into legal talk, aren't I, right now? It said the defendant has a complete defense. That's all legal mumbo jumbo. The judge said he did not accept Depp's characterization, of his ex-wife as a gold digger. I recognize that there were other elements to the divorce settlement as well, but her donation of $7 million to charity is hardly the act of a gold digger. In 12 out of 14 incidents of assault reported by Heard, the judge said he found the allegations proved. Johnny Depp is indeed a douche. In his conclusion, Nicole, that would be the judge's name, Nicole cited an email sent to Depp in August 2016 as an indicative of the actor's true feelings towards her. I never said I could speak English. Depp's message said, this is an email. This a message that he sent this girl. I have no mercy, no fear, and not an ounce of emotion what I once thought was. I'm going to start that over again. I have no mercy, no fear, not an ounce of emotion, or what I once thought. Yeah, that's what it says. Or what I once thought was love for this gold-digging, low-level, dime a dozen, mushy, pointless, dangling, overused, flappy fish market. I can only hope that karma kicks in and takes the gift of breath from her. Sorry, but now I will stop. Nothing, unquote. Wow. Overused, flappy fish market. Sorry. Yeah, Johnny Douche. Johnny. Well, that's what I'm going to call him from now on. Johnny Douche. Um, beating his ex-wife. Uh, not cool, Johnny. You know, I didn't think Captain Jack had that in him. For 3 months. This is the last story. This. for, for 3 months last year, farmers across Sussex County received mysterious type letters or emails inquiring about the possibility of having sexual relationships with the horse or cow. No, no one took up the offer. No one took up the offer, but authorities say that the mysterious writer didn't take rejection very well. The writer, a one Richard Decker, 32 years old. This is the guy that wants to have sexual relations with a horse or a cow. Took to, after being rejected by all the farmers, can you imagine that? Took to placing homemade spikes in the driveways or along the roads that led to the homes of the barns. The owners, the farmers who had denied him. So they said, no, you can't touch my cow or my horse. And he got all ticked at the owners of the horses and farms because they denied him that. The devices ruined the tires of the 5 victims. They're 5. He was on the move. So multiple times he was prepared to do worse. Mr. Decker was. Police searched Decker's home and found 2 arrows with igniters on the tip. Watching too many Rambo movies. Concocted using a mix of explosives and gunpowder, according to Assistant Prosecutor Brent Rayfuse. Jars of explosive material were also found, along with an unregistered .22 caliber firearm. Explosive arrows, but he's carrying a .22. On Thursday, Richard Decker of Vernon sat quietly through an online court hearing, politely answering questions. And he accepted 3-year prison sentence for bizarre campaign. For the bizarre campaign. The severity of the crimes mandated incarceration, said Sussex County Superior County Judge Louis Sciusy. But Decker was also clearly in need of mental health treatment, the judge added. Decker pleaded guilty to second-degree possession of a destructive device. He was given an additional concurrent sentence for 5 remaining charges, including damaging property, attempting to procure an animal for sexual purposes, and the funny just went away. He had possession of child pornography. That is a disturbed man. That's a disturbed man. Again, it is election day. I am going to go vote right now. I'm going to go vote proudly for President Trump. I have no problem saying that. I would have had a problem saying that in 2016. In fact, I did. I remember having this discussion with a friend, and she knew she was going to vote for Trump. I could not bring myself to do that. I thought he was trolling the country. He's run before. His messages were never clear. He was a billionaire playboy. To me, he was just another New York elite. But I did know. He was saying the things that people were thinking. He was talking for the forgotten person. he was saying things that were incredibly important for this country. I heard him saying it. I just couldn't take him seriously. When he got in, I worried. Then he started working. He actually started doing things for the country. The things that he said in NAFTA, man, they rocked me to the core, man. I was proud of the things that he said. And that was early on. I go, this guy, maybe he gets it. He bailed out of the Paris Accord. He understood that this country, because people haven't quite added that they ran from England. These people left England because they believed in a higher power, and it wasn't a king. It was indeed a higher power, something that has nothing to do with man, that has nothing to do with flesh. So, what he did with Jerusalem is actually more important than most people might think. Minority communities have done nothing but benefit, whether they realize it or not. The black vote and the Hispanic vote is very strong right now for Donald Trump. So I think it's safe to say that, yeah, people realized it. Even something as unimportant to most people, but the funding that he gave the historical black colleges, it's giving the black community that needs, this isn't a handout, but it's giving the black community a hand up. So what is important here is that the people that don't understand it, I don't expect you to understand it. Ice Cube said it best when he said, black people, the things that we've been through, we're okay. We just have to recognize that. We just have to recognize that. And Trump saw just how hard, and this, again, this isn't a handout, just how low the black youth has had to go in order to feel that they can survive. And they do not have to feel that way. So since the whole is, because systemic racism isn't what exactly what BLM is telling you, or Antifa is telling you, or what the Democrats are telling you. Systemic racism is actually coming from people like Antifa, BLM, and the Democrats. That is systemic racism. They, specifically the Democrats, they can depend on the black rubber stamp to happen. And for as long as they feel that they can give you something, just hand it out, they feel they have your vote. And that's getting exhausting. It's old. It's old. So I take this and many, many other things. The manufacturing jobs that he brought back, the unemployment numbers, the bounce back that's happening now is almost ridiculous. With all the jobs lost, meanwhile, the bounce back that's happening now is worth, under a pandemic, is worth giving this man another 4 years. So that's what I'm taking to the poll. I'm taking that right now. So God bless you. I hope you voted. I hope you put America first. And I will still be there with you if you didn't put America first. It's up. Well, what choice do I have, right? But anyway, I'm going to leave you with begging you to vote. Hoping that you keep America first. And I hope you don't hate me if Trump does win. Stay aware and vigilant. Until then, big hug. Be good. Be still. Enjoy your life.